Welcome to History Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: Musk tells Sunak AI will render all jobs obsolete. Influential CBC broadcaster Elizabeth Gray was known for asking tough questions. Ken Mattingly, astronaut scrubbed from Apollo 13, is dead at 87. Hunter Biden says his addiction used as disinformation against father. Tanzanian student in Israel, shift change saved me, but my friends are Hamas hostages. Musk tells Sunak AI will render all jobs obsolete. Financial Times. Elon Musk has described artificial intelligence, AI, as the most disruptive force in history and told UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak that there will come a time when no job is needed. Speaking at a UK government summit on AI, Musk said that while AI could be a force for good and even become great friends to their users, there is a need to ensure that AI technologies have an off switch and expressed concerns that they could become unfriendly with a software update. Influential CBC broadcaster Elizabeth Gray was known for asking tough questions. The Globe and Mail. Elizabeth Gray, former host of CBC Radio's As It Happens, has died in Toronto at the age of 86. Gray hosted the show for 3.5 years, following Barbara Frum. Her contract was not renewed in 1985, with CBC management citing the need to shake up the show to boost ratings and that Gray was not high-profile enough. The decision caused public outcry, with more than 100 producers, editors and journalists from CBC, as well as 23 parliamentary reporters, petitioning the network against her firing. Gray's fans also sent in hundreds of letters. While her contract was not reinstated, Gray returned to CBC within 4 months, working as a field producer for Sunday Morning. She continued to work for various current affairs programs until her retirement. Throughout her career, Gray was known for her incisive questions and fearlessness in challenging politicians. Gray leaves behind 3 children and 5 grandchildren. Ken Mattingly, astronaut scrubbed from Apollo 13, is dead at 87. New York Times. Ken Mattingly, the astronaut who orbited the moon and commanded a pair of NASA shuttle missions, has died aged 87. Mattingly joined NASA in 1966, but his first mission didn't come until 1972 when he piloted the command module of Apollo 16. While the lunar lander descended to the moon, Mattingly orbited the moon and took extensive photographs. He went on to serve as the commander of the final Earth-orbiting test flight of the Space Shuttle Columbia in 1982 and also commanded the first Space Shuttle flight, conducted for the Department of Defense in 1985. However, he was most famous for his role in the near-disastrous mission of Apollo 13, when he was removed from the crew at the last moment due to exposure to German measles. Mattingly played a vital role in the mission's successful return to Earth. Hunter Biden says his addiction used as disinformation against father. Reuters. Hunter Biden has accused Republicans of launching a vile and sustained disinformation campaign against his father, U.S. President Joe Biden, ahead of the 2024 election. In an op-ed for USA Today, Hunter Biden claimed his past substance abuse issues had been used in a campaign to damage the president's reputation. Hunter Biden has also been charged with lying on a federal form to get a handgun in 2018 and with being an illegal drug user in possession of a weapon. He has pleaded not guilty. His case is the first ever criminal prosecution of a sitting U.S. president's child. Tanzanian student in Israel, shift change saved me, but my friends are Hamas hostages. Yahoo! 3 Tanzanian students who were in Israel on agricultural internships were caught up in the recent Israel-Gaza conflict. Ezekiel Kitiku was at the dairy farm on kibbutz Nir Oz when the bombing started and Joshua Loita Malal and Clements Felix Mtenga were taken hostage. The 3 students had arrived in Israel in September and had been living on kibbutz Nir Oz and working at a dairy farm in the afternoons, whilst Malal was staying and working at kibbutz Nahal Oz. The students had been told to go to a shelter if they heard the sound of shooting or bombs, and that is what Kitiku did. He then noticed that his WhatsApp and text messages were no longer being delivered to Malal and Mtenga, so he sent a message asking if they were safe. Neither responded and he has not heard from them since. He is now working at a different farm, but says the fear of what had happened to my friends started to grow. The banks are where the money isn't. Bloomberg. JP Morgan Chase is looking for a source of funding to enable it to lend money to corporate clients and private equity sponsors. The bank wants to lend money to these clients to generate good risk-adjusted returns, but is constrained by a lack of available funds. In the past, banks would have used customer deposits to fund these loans, but increased regulation around capital requirements has made this risky. Instead, JP Morgan is looking to partner with a pension fund or sovereign wealth fund that has long-term capital that can be committed to the business. Private credit is increasingly substituting bank loans due to its better funding model. Pension funds, insurance companies, sovereign wealth funds, and alternative asset managers have stable long-term funding sources, while banks have short-term deposits. These specialized firms have long-term equity funding from pensions, and are able to provide better funding for loans than banks. JP Morgan's push to narrow its banking services and find alternative funding is indicative of this trend. JP Morgan's search for funding sources highlights the changing dynamics of the banking industry. As banks face increasing regulatory pressure and capital requirements, they are finding it more difficult to lend money to clients. This has created an opportunity for alternative lenders, such as pension funds and sovereign wealth funds, to step in and provide long-term funding for loans. Private credit is becoming a popular alternative to traditional bank loans, as it offers more stable funding and better risk-adjusted returns. Quebec performer Sonia Del Rio danced flamenco on some of the world's top stages. The Globe and Mail. Sonia Del Rio, Quebec's flamenco ambassador, has died at the age of 83 after a battle with cancer and advanced scleroderma. Born in a small mining town in Quebec, Del Rio began dancing from a young age and became a respected classical dancer, choreographer, teacher, lecturer, and businesswoman. She performed on some of the world's leading stages and met Salvador Dali, Edith Piaf, and many others. Quebec filmmaker Jean-Claude Labrec once said that her life story would make a compelling film because of how much she accomplished after a humble beginning. Despite her achievements, Del Rio also had to work to support her family. She worked in a grocery store and delivered newspapers before leaving for Europe at the age of 20 to further her dance studies. She studied Spanish dance in Paris before moving to Spain to deepen her knowledge of Spanish classical dance, folk dance, and flamenco. In 1963, Del Rio was invited to dance with José Greco, a performer and choreographer who popularized Spanish dance worldwide. She danced with some of the most famous Spanish ballet companies in the world before receiving a diploma from Madrid's Real Escuela Superior de Arte Dramático y Danza in 1973, becoming the first Canadian to do so. After meeting her husband and having a son, Del Rio left her international career and trained several generations of dancers. Ancient Roman road found in Stirling Garden. BBC. A Roman road dating back 2,000 years has been discovered during an archaeological excavation in a garden near Stirling. The road would have been used by Roman legions to launch invasions of Scotland during the reigns of the emperors Antonine and Severan. The excavation took place in the garden of a 17th-century cottage known as the Old Cottage Inn, which was once a drover inn. Large-scale warfare occurred in Europe 1,000 years earlier than previously thought. The Guardian. New research suggests that large-scale warfare in Europe may have occurred over 1,000 years before previously thought. The study analyzed over 300 sets of skeletal remains found in Spain, dating back between 5,400 and 5,000 years ago. The researchers found a high percentage of damaged bones, with a disproportionately high number of males affected. The study also uncovered 52 flint arrowheads, with 36 showing minor damage associated with hitting a target. The authors of the study speculate that the conflict may have been caused by tension between different cultural groups in the region during the late Neolithic period. Ottawa to consider setting up AI Safety Institute, Industry Minister Champagne says. The Globe and Mail. Canada is considering creating an AI Safety Institute as part of a global effort to better regulate AI, according to Industry Minister François-Philippe Champagne. Speaking at the AI Safety Summit at Bletchley Park, Champagne defended the government's approach to regulating AI, which has been criticized for being too vague. The government has proposed the Artificial Intelligence and Data Act, IDA, but critics argue that it's not clear which AI systems would be covered by the legislation and that the commissioner responsible for enforcing the legislation would not be independent. Well, my dear viewers. It's your favorite Six Doctor here, bringing you the latest news from the six-degree world. I hope you've all been keeping well and enjoying the twists and turns of our ever-changing universe. Today, we have quite a mix of stories to discuss, so let's dive right in. First up, we have the billionaire extraordinaire Elon Musk, who has once again made some bold claims about the future of artificial intelligence. According to Musk, AI will render all jobs obsolete. Yes, you heard that right. No more work, no more Monday blues. While we can't deny the potential of AI, I think it's safe to say that we still have a long way to go before we can fully rely on machines to do all the work for us. But who knows, maybe one day we'll all be sipping margaritas on a beach while our robot friends take care of business. Next, we have the unfortunate passing of influential CBC broadcaster Elizabeth Gray. Gray was known for her tough questions and fearlessness in challenging politicians. She was a true force in the world of journalism, and her loss will be felt by many. Rest in peace, Elizabeth Gray, and may your legacy continue to inspire future generations of journalists. In other news, we say goodbye to astronaut Ken Mattingly, who played a vital role in the successful return of the Apollo 13 mission. Mattingly's journey to the moon and his subsequent missions with NASA have left an indelible mark on the history of space exploration. Farewell, Ken Mattingly, and thank you for your contributions to science and discovery. Moving on to politics, we have Hunter Biden, the son of U.S. President Joe Biden, speaking out against what he calls a vile and sustained disinformation campaign targeting his father. Politics can be a messy business, and it seems like no family is immune to the drama. Let's hope that the truth prevails and that we can focus on the real issues at hand. Now, let's talk about something closer to home, the recent Israel-Gaza conflict. 3 Tanzanian students found themselves caught up in the chaos, with one managing to find safety while the fate of the others remains unknown. It's a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict, and our thoughts are with those affected by this tragic situation. Shifting gears, we turn our attention to the world of banking. JP Morgan Chase is on the hunt for alternative funding sources to meet the growing demand for loans. It seems that the traditional banking model is facing some challenges, and alternative lenders are stepping in to fill the gap. Private credit is becoming a popular choice for long-term funding, with pension funds and sovereign wealth funds leading the way. It's a sign of the changing times, my friends, and a reminder that nothing stays the same forever. On a lighter note, we bid farewell to Quebec's flamenco ambassador, Sonia Del Rio. Her talent and accomplishments were truly remarkable, and her journey from a small mining town to the world's top stages is an inspiration to us all. Rest in peace, Sonia Del Rio, and may your passion for dance continue to inspire others. And finally, we have some fascinating archaeological discoveries. A Roman road dating back 2,000 years has been unearthed in Scotland, shedding light on the history of Roman invasions. Meanwhile, new research suggests that large-scale warfare in Europe may have occurred much earlier than previously thought. It seems our ancestors were not afraid to throw down some serious bones and arrows. History never ceases to amaze us, does it? Well, my dear viewers, that's all the news we have for today. I hope you've enjoyed this little journey through the 6-degree world. Remember, the world is a funny old place, full of surprises and unexpected twists. So, keep your eyes open, your mind curious, and your sense of humor intact. And as always, I look forward to hearing your thoughts and answering any questions you may have. So, tell me, my friends, what's on your mind? Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.